Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Aquarius October 2019 horoscope forecast part 2 of 2. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, first thing off, I want to dedicate this to Nicole Sabato because she recently constructively stated that I was a little bit too quiet in my videos. I'm going to try to turn my volume, my voice box up a notch for her and to my other loyal and steadfast persistent fans. Anyway, first thing up, Mars, as far as October goes, Mars will be in Virgo from the 1st until the 4th. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, one way this may manifest, this could be about having certain more contentious, acrimonious situations with a sexual partner, someone you're in an intimate relationship with. It could be over matters pertaining to diet, fitness, and health. It could be a lot of criticism, a lot of derogatory remarks, and it also could be another way this could pan out is that if you're unattached at this time, Aquarius, you may connect with a Virgo sun, moon, or ascendant person, or one that embodies Virgo characteristics. It could be for a very deep, non-superficial connection, sexual relationship, and might be somebody you're involved in a shared resources situation with. Now, another way this could pan out too is that in some cases this could be about surgery. If in some isolated cases you're talking about Mars, the planet connected with surgery, and the 8th house associated with surgery. It could be on something Virgo related, such as the spleen. It could also be a time too where you might be putting a lot of energy, a lot of hard working, industrious Virgo energy into making a major change or transformation, some nervous energy perhaps as well, even in a crisis situation in some cases. Now, another next thing I want to talk about, well, as far as October goes, Mars will be in Libra from the 4th until the 31st. So the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, situation with in-laws, with grandchildren, may be more contentious, more acrimonious than usual. Could be a lot of passive-aggressive energy in these arguments and disputes. It could be about you're putting a lot of energy into weighing the pros and cons of 9th house matters, whether it may be higher education, it might be matters connected with the law, it could be a legal situation, something with higher education. It could be also energy into Libra type publishing and higher education. It could be something connected. Say if this is publishing, it could be something associated with art, writing about art, such as sculpting, drawing, painting, graphic art design. It could be something associated with the law, such as just litigation, lawsuits, matters with something connected with justice and the law in general, or even a sport associated with Libra, such as tennis or gymnastics. So, and you may be even putting a lot of energy into going to school for something Libra related, such as something with the law or art, something connected with arbitration, anything associated with Libra. Next thing up. Well, Jupiter will be in Sagittarius still, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, as I've stated in previous videos, Jupiter can be rather paradoxical. It could be very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. Now, in some cases, this can enlarge and expand rather foolhardy, reckless, self-righteous, over-optimistic, over-exuberant behavior with friends, from friends, acquaintances, people you may know in groups, clubs, organizations, and it might even be in your own dealings with them. Could also, though, be very fortuitous for Sagittarius goals and aspirations, such as sports, horseback riding, working in stables, doing something connected with publishing, advertising, translation, the law. You might also find yourself really expressing a lot more expanded jocularity with 11th house people, which can include stepchildren if applicable, friends, acquaintances, and also this could be about having being very auspicious and fortuitous for just being an incorrigible optimist and being very expansive and optimistic regarding your future, the power of positive thinking, and toward future goals. It could be very auspicious at this time for you, Aquarius. So anyway, well, the next thing up, well, Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, this could manifest in a multitude of ways. I have Saturn in the 12th house in my natal chart. This could be a very strong period of introversion, introspection. It could be a time where you might be a little bit more reclusive and may succumb a little more to solitude and seclusion. Some isolated cases, this could be the departure of a father. In some cases, again, I have this placement natally, and I lost my father when I was 3 years old. And the thing about this too is this could also be a time too where the unknown might put you in a state of fear and trepidation. You're talking about Saturn could be connected with fears, and of course the 12th house could be associated with the unknown. And in some cases, older people, sometimes it could be, in isolated cases, could be a father, could be grandparents, could be hidden adversaries at this time. So just be careful at this time, Aquarius, especially if you've had some contentious situations with any of the people that I did describe. And also sometimes in some cases too that this is about maybe working very laboriously, or maybe too laboriously, could be the self-undoing, or it could be encountering some kind of risk through some kind of betrayal at this time as well. So just be careful. The expression, what is it, loose lips sink ships, or something similar to that. So again, those are some ways that this could pan out as far as this goes. Now, in some cases too, this could also be a period where you may, in some isolated cases, you succumb to a period of despondency, and a lot of this could be predicated and dependent on aspects this makes to points in your chart. If this makes a adverse aspect to your natal Mercury or third house cusp, for example, it might increase that propensity for maybe some depressive thinking. It doesn't mean you're going to succumb necessarily to full-blown depression, but what I'm saying is isolated cases, it could just be simple, just feeling despondent and melancholy, or even if it makes an adverse aspect to your natal moon, you might be seeing only the gloomy side of things, and might be making you really feel, as far as really feeling, really gloomy during that period. So anyway, next thing up. Well, Uranus will still be in Taurus, so the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So one way this may manifest, this could be about dealing with rather unusual, stubborn, obstinate behavior with family members, people you're close to home with. It could be somebody that could be the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. Another way this might pan out, this could also be in some cases about dealing with really unstable energy in the home. Your home life may be somewhat erratic and sporadic, but it could also be about, at this time, maybe expressing some Uranus qualities at the core. You're Aquarius anyway, so you're going to be expressing those naturally, but it might even be even more ingenious and innovative qualities that you might have had that you're unearthing, so to speak, at this time. And also in some cases, this could be about Taurus friendships. Could be Taurus sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Taurus traits that might be figuring more prominently in your emotional security, your home life. It could be just in matters with the home, whether it might be some home renovation or what have you, and even in some cases dealing with really just things. It could be even in matters with the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. So those are some ways that this can manifest and pan out at this time. And also it could be some shocking, this could really be a time where you might be really, you might find something very shocking in connection with your roots and your ancestry at this time. As a Uranus energy, of course, could be very shocking and unpredictable. Also, guard against potential literal shocks in the home. If you're doing some work with wiring, be more prudent and careful than usual, Aquarius. Make sure you're taking your precautions. If you're supposed to be wearing certain gloves when you're doing electrical wiring, then by all means make sure you're doing so. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. Anyway, next thing up, well, Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, Aquarius, well, again, this could manifest in a multitude of ways. Sometimes this could be about dissolving assets, well, being flippant in this, but at the same time, it actually can mean that in a way it could. In some cases, this could manifest in the dissipation, dissolving of funds. But it could also be about showing self-sacrifice in monetary matters, but both could be tied into each other. Now, the thing about this too is, on a positive note, it could just simply be about making money, generating income through something Neptune related, such as poetry, dancing, the metaphysical, which includes astrology, photography, chemistry. Could be something with fantasy, such as fantasy writing, or it could cover a lot of different things. You're talking about fantasy. It could be designing some kind of fantasy game, like video game or something. So these are ways, that this could pan out at this time for you, Aquarius. Could also be at this time, guard against like financial fraud at this time, and you might be dealing with people that might be a little bit shady or might be deceptive and duplicitous in terms of monetary matters. These are things, if you're doing anything out of a monetary nature, you're trying to sign something where you're under some contract and you're going to make money, just make sure you're looking at all the fine print at this time, Aquarius. Now, another way this could pan out to, this could be about the accumulation of Neptune possessions. It could be getting things that connect with poetry, dancing, whether it could be dancing shoes or what have you. It could be buying fantasy books, anything that could be Neptune related, something connected with, it could be cameras, things associated with photography. If you're like a chemistry fan, it could be getting some kind of chemistry lab if that's a hobby of yours. For example, anything Neptune related. Could also be about developing Neptune values, which could be, for one of them, could be self-sacrificing and being very compassionate and imaginative. Those are some examples. Last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time, well, one way, this could manifest a number of ways, Aquarius, but now in some cases, this could be about you trying to get power and control over your private life, or you might feel it might be obliterated and destroyed at this time. It could be dealing with powerful hidden adversaries, people that might be posing as friends, for example, but really are not, and these people may be very manipulative as well, so be very careful at this time, Aquarius. Now, in some isolated cases, though, this could still manifest in some kind of Plutonian type mental illness, such as something like an obsessive compulsive type situation, but this could be very isolated, and a lot of this again could be predicated and dependent on aspects, as makes the points in your chart. An adverse aspect to natal Mercury, your third house cusp, can increase that propensity for that, but this would be rather isolated, I would think. And really, some other ways this could pan out. This could also be about dealing with, could be some power struggles with an aunt, an uncle, someone prominent in your private life, and upheavals with these people as well. And sometimes, remember, the 12th house is also about, this could be a time too where you are really at this time, 12th house can be hospitalization. So again, though isolated, it could be some Plutonian type hospitalization, such as something with the bladder or pelvic region. So anyway, and This could be a time too where you're being really, I mean, this could be a very private period because you're talking about the 12th house being associated with solitude and seclusion, and Pluto is about secrets, so you could do the math. So this could be a time where you could be very reluctant to let out any secrets at this time, and any, you're really not necessarily being paranoid, but it could be a time where you really could be obsessing over keeping things, many things behind closed doors, so to speak, and being more private and secretive, much more so than usual. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Aquarius October 2019 horoscope forecast part 2 of 2. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Pisces October 2019 horoscope forecast part 1 of 2. And until next time, people, Edwin Leonard saying stay well.